girl, Ari. Come vibe with your girl. Come vibe with your girl. Hey, 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 hey. So, y'all, I'm back with another video for y'all. Yes, I'm doing unpopular opinion again because I don't know. I just feel like I needed to do this little video for y'all, and I think some videos on myself. Like, y'all need to get to know me. But anyway, so I have like, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got like 10 different topics. I don't really know how long they're gonna be. Like, it was just things that I just pretty much like just thought of on the top of my dome, okay? But one of them really was like a topic that I recently just seen. I don't even know if y'all seen it. I'm pretty sure y'all did because it was on, let me see, Baller Alert. I don't follow that page, but I mean, they just pretty much like the shade room if you don't follow them, and they just be like, you know, putting up things that people are saying are popular, that's going on, drama, whatever the case may be. But anyway, so it was a post that they posted, and I guess it's like a, what's the word? A movement. It's a movement, and like for, I guess, people that are transgender or non-binary or whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna read it so I can make my statement in case y'all haven't read it. But so it was a post that pretty much, there's a dad that calls his kids Theybie, or one of his kids Theybie. And I was like, that's just so interesting. But like at first I didn't read the caption. I had just read like the thumbnail or whatever. So anyway, so pretty much he was a father. His name is Christian, and he was joining the gender neutral baby movement. That's what it is. And pretty much like he wasn't really comfortable with, oh my God, I just realized I got no earrings on. That was a random thing, but I really do not have no earrings on. That's really weird. But anyways, okay, so he was not really comfortable in his skin when he was a female in his younger days. But now that he became who he is, he wants his kids to feel as comfortable. I did say I was going to read it, but I'm pretty much just going to summarize it because no. But he pretty much wants his kids to be comfortable in their own skin and not really be considered a gender. So he calls them Theybie, or what was it? Or but he doesn't really call them like he, she, or like tell them they are a certain gender. But my whole thing about it was, which is definitely understandable, don't get me wrong, you know, like I understand why you would want to do that, because you grew up uncomfortable in your own skin and you gave the like tomboyish facade. I don't know if I want to call it a facade, but like, if you get it, you get it. But so my whole thing is, he gave them gender names. So I'm just confused. There is Liam, Laura, and Teddy. But my thing is, how you gonna not want to, tell them that they're a certain gender, but yet give them gender names? Like, it just doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, why didn't you just not give them a name at all, and then they choose to pick their name if you want to go about it that way? Like, because to me, that's telling me, oh, okay, you got 2 boys and a girl, right? Am I wrong? But if that's not what you want it to be, why wouldn't you just not say nothing at all or give them a name? Because, and then another thing I'm thinking about is like when they go to school, and a lot of kids don't grow up that way, where like, or in families that accept gay people or that understand what non-binary is or what a transgender is. Like, so to them, they learn there's a girl, there's a boy, and that's it. Like, so when they start seeing other things, or like somebody was like, oh no, this is what they go by, like I feel like it's just gonna confuse like everybody in the room. Like, and it's there's kids that are ignorant or like, oblivious to like what's really going on, so they just saying stuff to try to be funny. And I just feel like I just feel like it's just gonna create a lot of like confusion in their world, let alone other kids' world, especially if they go into school. Like, they're gonna be like, oh, this is a girl. Like, I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying, but like, I just feel like it's too much for kids. Like, I feel like after a certain age, and sure, I feel like you could say that, but like, for them to be so young, I feel like they barely know who they are or like what's going on. Like, they just kids being kids. And not to say, like, I know there's a lot of like people that are younger and they knew like all their life, like they wanted to be a girl, or like they wanted to be a boy, or they were lesbian or gay, bisexual. Like, I feel like these are things you know after a certain amount of, like, after a certain age, because you start feeling things and like start looking at people and you be like, dang, like, why I keep looking at them, or why I like them like that, or like, why do they make me feel like this? But I don't know, it's just so weird. Like, it's not really weird, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I just feel like it's just way too much to put on a kid and then be like, oh, well, once you get to this certain age, or before you get to this certain age, you don't have to identify as anything. Like, but then when you get to this age, you can identify as who you are. I feel like from the get-go, they should just be identified. And if they want to change who they are or look at themselves differently, then they can do that. Because I do understand the whole not feeling comfortable in your own skin. But then again, you can't put that on your kids. Like, you can't. Unless you're going to homeschool them, or like you're going to trap them in the house and they're going to be to themselves and only hang around each other. Because even then, I'm thinking about friends and stuff. Like, what if they're not around you and people aren't calling them or giving them, or you giving them the same energy and openness to be open, but other people aren't going to do that? I don't know if I'm just rambling or like y'all get what I'm saying. But anyways, I'm going to move on from that topic, but I just wanted to speak on that right quick. So another topic that I have is gun violence. Y'all, this is getting out of hand. Why is every day somebody getting shot, stabbed? Like, and I know I said gun violence, but people is stabbing and doing stuff like that too, like lacing people. Like, it's just like, where is the control? Like, we need some control in the U.S. right now. Like, I can't speak on nowhere else. I only can speak on the U.S., okay? So if you live somewhere else and you got comments, just say them down below. But I just feel like it's getting so crazy at this point. Like, it's like you scared to walk. I was literally talking to my friend the other day, and we were talking about like parties or like different places we went to where you just start feeling uncomfortable because somebody always bringing a gun, or, you know, like maybe they was looking for somebody else and, you know, wrong place, wrong time type of thing. I think I said that right. But it's just so scary. It's like, dang, I can't just go to a party, or I can't just like be in public and kick it without feeling like, oh damn, something's about to happen, or like people's running and like all type of crazy stuff going on. Like, and even my mom was just recently telling me that there was a DoorDasher that got killed because he was in the wrong driveway. Like, dang, so you telling me like the man was just looking for an address and he got shot because you ain't want him on his property, or like, I mean, on your property, or you didn't know who it was? Like, that's beyond me. Like, dang, so now I can't even work without feeling comfortable. Like, what? And not only that, this goes into another topic, which I'm gonna just bring up, but I just feel like we just need to start like setting some ground rules, like, because what is going on? Like, why can so many people carry so many weapons and don't have no license? And where are y'all even buying this stuff from? And why are y'all even selling this stuff to people that don't have a license, or don't even know how to shoot a gun, or don't even know what to do with one? Because there are multiple different variants of guns, and a lot of them hold a lot of weight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and put a lot of pressure. Like, you could shoot it and fly it back. Like, I don't know. Like, it's different guns out here like that. So, like, it's just, why can't y'all be a little bit smarter? Like, please, be smarter. Like, you should not be selling no guns to no little kid. or just somebody that doesn't know what they're doing with it, or like just want to go harm somebody because they mad or can't control themselves. And like, I could just go down a rabbit hole with this. But anyway, so my next topic, which plays into this too, is homeschooling. I feel like people really should start looking at homeschooling their kids. Like, I understand some people don't be home enough to do that, or don't got enough money to hire a teacher to do that. But if you can, I just advise you to do it, because so there's this YouTuber I watch, and their kids recently just had a threat at their school, and like they were pretty much saying like when they got there, like they was pretty much confused, and they were telling them like they can't take their backpacks anywhere, like they got to carry everything, the teachers need to walk them to class, and they can't use the bathroom, no what's the word, like just like lingering around and just trying to talk and stuff, like they need to go here and here and just stay there until they're told to leave or somebody else is walking them to class. But my whole thing is, so if you have a threat, why would you even allow kids to come to school? Like, and then like in the threat, because they like wrote it on, I don't know, I'm not gonna say Instagram or anything, I don't know, but they wrote it on social media that they pretty much was gonna be at the school around 7 something in the morning. Kids get to school at 7 something in the morning. So you telling me you seen this threat before everybody else? And like kids, like, come on now, like most kids, and I think they like went in middle school or like freshmen or whatever, either way it go, they didn't know what school they was targeting. So it doesn't matter if they was in middle school, high school, elementary, it doesn't matter. You should not be allowing kids to go to school knowing that there's a threat. Like, they should have already shut down school immediately. Like, why would I want to be frightened for my life or get a text from my kid talking about, oh yeah, there's been a threat at my school? No, I'm coming to get your ass. Like, this is not okay. Like, and then let alone like what they teach you, and half the shit is not even irrelevant. Like, it's not even putting you in a position to even be an adult. Like, I feel like one thing, and this plays a part into it too, where like parents don't really, there's a lot of parents that don't like, okay, yes, I feel like, okay, when you become an adult, right, you literally just start learning and just seeing things happening as it goes. Like, okay, say you about to buy your first apartment. Now you learn everything about apartments, like when it comes to making a money order, or when you have a problem, or just paying rent or your utilities, and just going through all of these little different things. And then like say like with a car or anything, like I feel like there's certain things your parents don't really think about to teach you, and then when you get to that moment, you're like confused and you just saying yes and just agreeing with stuff and don't even know. I mean, luckily if your parent is around, they can help you with that in that moment. But even then, it still just have you confused. Like, dang, why you ain't tell me this before I got to this dealership, or before I bought this apartment, or before I did this, and that. And I feel like if you're homeschooled, I feel like if people would homeschool their kids, like you can learn that, and they can learn about their background and their culture and where they actually come from, and things that will actually help them in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Versus like just learning all this white history that half of it don't even make sense, and anybody could have wrote it, you know what I'm saying? So like now you're confused, you got all this information that's not even real, or you're confused, you don't even know what they talk about, you don't remember it, and you just doing stuff just to pass, like, and half the stuff you don't even remember, or you don't even need, or you won't use. So it's like, I feel like when it comes to homeschool, you can decide and control a little bit what your kid learns, and like what will actually help them in life, versus just throwing them in school and just being confused and lost, like until they get to this point where like, all right, what was all this for? Like, what was all this about? But my whole point is, and my whole thing is like, I just feel like the world would be so much better if people actually knew about themselves and their history and what we actually need. And also mental health. Like, again, I always speak on this, but like that's another thing that like people don't really learn. They just pretty much just grow up and just be confused, or just flies by, and it's like oh. But yeah, but so I just feel like you could teach them now, like you could teach them how to heal themselves or maybe meditate or just like even taking deep breaths and like just being able to calm down and control themselves a little bit more versus like you got everybody in your ear and trying to like learn yourself and like just fit in with different groups and just not even knowing yourself and just going with the flow and following other people. Like I feel like if you homeschool, like you have a chance to really get to know yourself. Now the only downfall of it is people being a little bit antisocial or like socially awkward and not really knowing. But at the same time, you could teach your kid and like, you know, let them go outside, let them go out and play and like mingle with other people so they can at least still get the feel of like being able to enjoy and be friends and know how to be a friend and talk to people versus like them just being stuck in the house and always being around them siblings and relying on their siblings and their family and not knowing how to make friends or how to communicate with other people. That can be a downfall, but you can also prevent that. And I just feel like it's just best to do that. So if you can, I would say consider it because like it got a lot of benefits to it. And I just feel like overall it's just way better because you can control what you want your kid to learn. Like in school, you can't control that. And don't even get me started on all the like disease and like things like people don't be washing their hands or like being like kept clean or just coughing on people, sneezing on people, like just all types of germs you can catch from being at school. Not to say you can't catch it at home, but like 9 times out, the chances are very slim. Let me just say that. The chances are very slim than you going out into a public school or even private school too. But, and don't even get me started on the cost. Like, especially private school, like, ooh, y'all be paying an arm and a leg for y'all kids to do that and to be telling them who they should believe in and religion. Don't even get me started on that. So yeah. But anyways, moving on to the next topic. You only succeed if you go to college. I don't know who told y'all that, but baby, you do not gotta go to college to succeed in life. Like, do you know how many people that don't even have a degree and is making millions of dollars? Like, I'm talking about a year, a month. Like, stop playing. Like, people definitely could teach themselves. I'm not saying don't go to school. You could definitely join small programs. You could self-teach yourself. Like, for one, the internet has everything nowadays. Like, not to say to believe everything on the internet, but there's a lot of things that can help you out. Even on YouTube, there's things that you can learn and teach yourself. And, like, I don't know. Like, you could just play around. And you could find different fields. You can even, like, take advice or learn from older people. And some older people didn't even go to college or go to school or even graduate school. So it's like, well, high school. So it's like, how can you sit here and say, oh, you can only be successful? Like, I feel like that type of mindset that people, or that even, yeah, that type of mindset is not going to get you anywhere. Like, and for people to even downplay people for not going to college is ridiculous to me because, dude, that is not the only place. Like, as much money as people spend to go to college, is wild enough, let alone not even being able to work, not even able to be making enough to like even provide for themselves, to be able to eat, have fun, to buy clothes, to even live a normal life. Like, it's like you do it in spurts, or you're so stressed because your parents want you to graduate, or you trying to get through school, and like 9 times out of 10, a lot of people don't even really like going to school. They only doing it for their family or to prove something to somebody else, like, or prove something to themselves, but don't even end up doing the degree or getting in the field that they even had the degree for. So it's like, so you spent all this time, you tell me you spent all this time and wasted all this money not to even go in the field you're supposed to be, or that you wanted to go to, or you thought you liked. Like, come on now. Let's be real. So whoever told y'all that, y'all need to get that out y'all head. If you don't want to go to college, you do not have to go to college. Like, I'm not saying don't go, but don't force yourself or think that's the only way you can make money or become a billionaire or millionaire. I promise you it's not. Like, if you want to work an office job, sure, that will definitely get you there. Because if you want to move up in the office, you're going to have a degree. But outside of that, there's so many fields and majors and businesses that you can join without even needing to freaking college, or a high school diploma. Like, and that's wild to me, but like, still. So don't think you need to spend all your money and waste all that, especially if you don't have the funds. Like, it's one thing to have a scholarship or parents that actually have money and you can do that, then sure, like, why not? But if not, don't stress yourself out. Like, Don't do it. Don't do it.